Scribal Sessions Volume 1. For the record. Open your eye in alignment with time and you'll see the truth like it's a physical thing. From the darkness I arise, so it's not a surprise when you learn of the light that I bring. As above, so below, I find a rhythm and flow as I grow with the pendulum swing. This is the matrix where everyone's faking they sleep here in life while we wake up in dreams. Shedding the skin like a serpent, this work makes it worse at attaining a purpose. While searching internal, examine what all is in me. Most will not make it there, so can I take it? Reality shaking, you've seen what I've seen. Reap what you sow, we're the weavers of speech, achievers, and this is the read 'em and weed 'em. You cannot read them, vibrations that none of them speak. Walk a meadow, netter, light is feather is heavy. To learn that your will isn't free. Netter willing, I continue to lead with my ebas. I'm sweeping my consciousness clean. Training in realms that are unseen. My aura is some set fire to all of the fiends. Stand on my eye, this is all seeing. I we supply 93, that means we are supreme. Healing through tones on my senses, connecting in this year. Wealthy is health, this is green. This is illusion, reality veiled in delusion. Thoughts become intrusive, it's foolish to not know by now that it ain't what it seems. This is way more than belief. I see clearly the lies. My six senses of sight are hypnotized. No wonder everyone sleeps. Open your eyes. It's time to set off the alarm. The performance self-harm. Don't you know you're a star? God in human form and you rise with the beast. More than man. Bread in my hand, that's the Lord in hand. Heard what I said, Lord, live in the man. Light is sought after, it's in the man. Come from the inundation lands. Light is sought after, it's in the man. Come from the inundation lands. We ain't the same man. Record keeper. Seeing the state of the planet, the damage, the famines expanding beyond your belief. I see they landed, they've handed the people a cannon and aiming it right at your feet. Blowing a hole where you're standing, creating the panic. The tactical planning is deep. Teaching you're only a man and that God is in heaven, the seventh outside of your reach. If you're the question, they'll call you a manic, frantic, erratic, depression, demonic. When you're teaching through the magical speech, they'll call you serpent, the one in the garden. Pardon my knowledge for having the knowledge and prowess to see. He really told the truth to Adam and Eve. You'll have distinction between good and evil if you eat of the fruit of the tree. Now you're a god, open your eye, cleansing yourself so that now you can see. They stole the stories and twisted them like it's a spliff. They put the fire to leaf, I put the fire to speech. I put the fire to heat. We don't do liars and thieves, they just desire to greed. This is my record to keep, this is my throne. You cannot sit in my seat. And I command it, I give more than 10 commandments. This is the law of attraction, and we have infinite stamina. My stage is where I'm standing. This is my art, God is in me. I only keep goddesses with me. They are the magical beings, they are the holy ones, birthing the gods. We're overcoming the odds. We are the even and odd. They're in the odds, we're in the all. Ancestors answer my prayers, forever grateful. I will forever say thank you. Inspiration to awake the sleepers. Record keeper, more than man. Bread in my hand, that's the Lord in hand. Heard what I said, Lord, live in the man. Light is sought after, it's in the man. Come from the inundation lands. Light is sought after, it's in the man. Come from the inundation lands. We ain't the same man. Record keeper, more than man. Bread in my hand, that's the Lord in hand. Heard what I said, Lord, live in the man. Light is sought after, it's in the man. Come from the inundation lands. Light is sought after, it's in the man. Come from the inundation lands. We ain't the same man. Record keeper.
You and your family health and prosperity. May your monument be established on the foundations of my heart, and may you rise and come forth as conscious light, like the divine Ra, who rise and shine forevermore in my heart. Hotel.
I look outside in awe, I see our people double-minded. People meaning creature, don't ignore the signage. Voices lead, though flying silent. Observation with my eye open eyelid. Look outside in awe, I see our people double-minded. People meaning creature, don't ignore the signage. Voices lead, though flying silent. Observation with my eye open eyelid. I am him, king, crown, rings, Nesu, I am in mindset of when fighting jinns, sword swang, samurai, I am Shem, Suhor, son of Heheru, I am him, king, crown, rings, Nesu, I am in mindset of when fighting jinns, sword swang, samurai, I am Shem, Suhor, son of Heheru, words powerful, Hekau, see proof, you can feel the roots, gone, just look up, I am proof, breaking doors now, make some room, but I is now speaking through me and trust me. Hotep Marie, Uncle
Hotep,
Jocelyn.
Hotep.
There he is, Hotep.
Mic check. Welcome everybody to the House of ATEN, Ancient Tehuti and Teachings of the Tiru presents Seshep Session Number 2, Grounded Living Trees by the great PTAH ATEN Tehuti. Before we begin, and I introduce the brothers on the panel, we will start as we do every week with our Nefa affirmation. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Unki and Ma'at, Un-N-S, Nintat Aset and Ma'at, Min Hepapat and Ma'at, Her and Hukui, Per Ikut. I live for Ma'at, I exist within her. I do not speak in the place of Ma'at. Every day I advance towards Ma'at. My being is surrounded in darkness. I come forth as conscious light. Peace and love, everybody. I'm the mighty Atefrim Kim Ma'at, esteemed brethren. As a devoted disciple of the master teacher Tehuti Amenhotep Ra, I humbly serve as your guide and host within the sacred halls of the House of ATEN. Each week we gather here to immerse ourselves in the profound teachings of Ma'at, embarking on a journey of enlightenment. Within this sanctuary, we explore the depths of truth, drawing wisdom from ancient artifacts and the profound teachings passed down by the great Tehuti Amenhotep Ra. My commitment extends beyond these gatherings. As a true-hearted devotee, I strive to live and breathe the principles of Ma'at, showing love for my people and resonating with the sacred vibrations of the Medu Neter. I stand as a steadfast guardian of Ma'at, protecting the sacred laws that govern our existence within the House of ATEN. Next, we have the mighty, the Jed Sajim, primordial thought. 9 is a seeker of divine wisdom, the wisdom with universal structure, the wisdom that remains the same from every perspective, the wisdom that adapts to any interaction, the wisdom that creates silence, the wisdom that sustains the House of ATEN. And our presenter for the night, the mighty scribe Ani PTAH ATEN Tehuti, Tatia Vizier, overseer of administration of the House of ATEN, chief treasurer Shesh Nasut, royal scribe of Tehuti Amenhotep Ra, Sab scribe of Ra, Sajed E, reciter of Aku, effective words of conscious light, one great of Heka, excellent of magic, technology architect of Tehuti, bull of Ma'at, truly silent one, controller of temper, most expert in his calling, protector of the Natiru, Neb Akka, Lord of excellence, son of the great unifying Nut, holder of the secrets of the Duat, Smaui Sekmi, one skilled in the arts of music and poetry, him Neta Tepi in Sheshet, high priest of Sheshet, Saba in Medu Neter, teacher of the divine language, embodiment of Ptah's writing board and Tehuti's mirror, leader with the heart, Sep Eb, great of humility, servant of the people, Tehuti manifests in him, Heru manifests in him as Ptah Neb Ma'at, Lord of truth, Shimsu Natiru, messenger and follower of the Natiru, Ptah Ani Aten Tehuti, a living Neta upon earth who lives in Ma'at, Ankh Dujed Usir, life, stability, and wealth. Hotep, great brothers, peace and love. I got no sound effects.
Hotep, great brothers.
Yeah, we're here, and we're the best.
Peace,
Hotep Inu.
peace.
Yeah, how
Can
you
y'all hear
doing,
me?
great Atef? Yeah, we can hear you.
Peace, great brother. I'm traveling, so I ain't got my whole system. But how did I sound?
You sound pretty good. We can hear you clear.
Okay, all right, okay, good. We'll go with it. Peace and love, great brothers. How y'all feeling?
Feeling Acker, feeling Nefer. Yes, ready to get into this session. This is a Seshep session, and build.
Looking forward to it, great brother.
Hotep, peace. Yeah, Tef, you sound good, man. Sound like it's late over there. Sound like it's after 10.
Man,
Everybody
it
sleep.
is late, bro. Nah, they ain't sleep. Not yet.
Yeah, peace. Hotep, you're new, man. It's good to be up here with you, great brothers. Dua. And yeah, I'm excited for this presentation as well. Ty already gave me a little gems here and there behind the scenes. So yeah, Dua.
Absolutely, Uncle Justin Neb. Let me pull up the YouTube so I can see what you all see. And make sure that the support link is pinned. All right, there it is. Dua Hotep to Nukpu. Uncle Justin Neb, great brother. Hotep. Hinu to the great Basa Tut Maka Ox Effect, who says, join the House of ATEN Accord community. And there's the Discord link. So to our great brother. Hotep to Eric G, that's it. Hotep with the eyes there. Peace to you. All right. And we see the great Angela Gates. It says Hotep Marie Aou. Hotep Marie. All right. So yes, the support links are pinned to the top. They're in the bio. Please support the session. These sessions that I'm giving, me giving them to you all, for you to truly find the benefit in them. Show your support and your reciprocity to allow the doorway of ma'at to flow through. I put that's deeply embedded into the intent of my sessions. So show your support and you utilize the tools and they will benefit you. So utilize those links that are pinned, and houseofaten.org, Pathways to Awakening. Everyone get your tickets. The tickets will go up here in a few weeks. So go ahead and get your tickets. And I look forward to seeing you all there. So yes, if anyone has anything they want to announce or speak on before we get started, that'll be the time.
No, I'm good, great brother. Do your thing. I know you're ready, and we'll tap in.
I'm ready, great brother.
All right, y'all ready to do these drills?
Yeah, most definitely.
Let's go.
All right. Okay. To our great boss, there's the tickets, the link to the tickets. Everyone go get your tickets to the PTAH 2025. All right. Let me share the screen and go ahead and get this up. Everyone hit the like button. Okay. All right, Uncle Justin Neb. Everyone, Hotep Marie, Tua for your attention, Tua for being here. I am PTAH Eni ATEN TEHUTI, scribe of Ma'at, follower of the Natiru, and I'm bringing to you all the second, what I've titled Seshep sessions.
which Seshep is a word that means to receive light. And these Seshep sessions, which are all rooted in the word sesh, which means the word scribe, which also means to give light. So the foundation of the Seka'u sessions, as well as the Seshep sessions, are to bring forward the writings of the scribes, and specifically the Seshep sessions, to take very practical ways of utilizing the body and the mind to create a bridge between your internal reality and your external reality. And they're very powerful, and they only exist here because this is the inception of something that is it's brand new, and as I build it and work it and utilize it and experience the effects and the transformations and the growth that comes from doing very specific things, and as I test the results and I find it good enough for me to bring forward to you all, I do so. And the same way that I do my sessions and how I prepare, it's very extensive. So, but I do one thing at a time, and so the very first Seshep session, I taught on pouring down Nu, and a very powerful way to begin to cleanse your ka, right? And so in Kemet and Ma'at, the scribes, many of the scribes were known as the Sabs, which is the glyph of the hound. And the Sab scribes would also be known as the Him Ka, or the Him, which would be priest or prophet. All the words that are associated with him, the House of ATEN is taught on that word very deeply, which then also goes into Hemet, rooted in him. And the Him Ka were the teachers of the Ka. And so the pouring down Nu was the initiation, introductory into bringing forward that awakening and awareness to you all. And it's a very powerful thing. So put if you all have been utilizing the pouring down Nu, put a 9 in the chat. I want to see if you all have been utilizing that. So this is a continuation, and I give them in step-by-step processes because it's best to do it in a process way, right? Because it's a program that is reinstalling old programs, and it's a very powerful thing. So we're always in ritual, right? Every day is a ritual. Every day that Ra rises is a ritual. So creating rituals that allow the Pekka Mku to begin to initiate, because it's a process. That is a very powerful way to just start to use your body to connect your interoception and exteroception through your nervous system. And so we're gonna continue to go deeper. And so I gave the session on Geb and over on Sa Neter, and and that was a very deep session. And I taught on the importance of hacking into the ground, and by doing so, we brought forward the ability to transform consciousness and touch higher levels. And it starts with digging into the ground, which is the word aku of the ibis bird, the word gem, which means to dig, and hacking into that ground. And everything that we taught on a physical level, of course, started on a ka, energetic level. You know, we brought that forward. Everything that we brought forward on the physical plane was a reflection of the ka. And it's taught in the Perm Haru. So as we begin to understand that and gain more mastery and control and power over our internal reality, which directly reflects our external reality, the grounding process is extremely important. Consciously connecting your ka to the ka of the planet consciously, and allowing a body that can hold a lot of aku, right? And so it's a very deep topic. It's a life walk. So session by session, you know, I'll bring forward my process and the journey, the walk. And as I learn, I teach. As I implement, as I test the results, I present. So these sessions are they're very valuable, and I've given them to you all for free on the notion of reciprocity, to allow this to assist those who provide a reciprocity and a support system for it, because this is being built in real time. So so much time, energy, aku, meri, goes into these sessions to bring forward very powerful healing techniques for you all to begin to utilize in your own in your own life, that no one has to know about, right? No private information has to be shared, right? But these tools will benefit you in those ways. They're healing tools brought forward with the pure intention to Pekenku, to cleanse, to heal, so we can come forward as conscious light beings in however and whatever way that means to us, and the layers and levels that exist and that we always taught on, that we always led with. So the Kepara continues, and for us to touch very high levels of what today people recognize as spirituality, opening the eye, for that to truly begin to manifest itself, one has to ground themselves to be able to shift and contain the light, the aku, the frequencies, and have somewhere to put it when your body may not be able to withhold that. So it's very important. So we're going to get into this session. Peace to Minty Hotep, Uncle Jasaneb. Welcome. And be sure to hit the like as everyone comes in. All right, so Seshep session 2. Grounded living trees. All right, so we'll start with the Peret Imheru, All right. So from British Museum number EA 10793, 950 BCE. I am assessed by many formula. My Ba is set before my heart. It has found that I was sound upon Ta, upon earth. See me in your presence. Neb Nechiru. I have reached the pool of the two Neteret that are right, the Ma'ati. The Ma'ati. I am risen as a Neter Ankh, as a living Neter, shining Hesjed in the 9 Netiru amid the sky. I exist as one of them. Sathes raised in my paces and Ker Aha. Version in the papyrus of Penenajem, High Priest of Amun, and General late 21st Dynasty. So here we are. I am assessed by many formulae, right? This word assess is sit or sa'it, to calculate, to assess something, by many ru or ra. My ba, saha ba, ra keft ib. So my ba is set before my ib. But this word that they use for before is keft. All right. So as you all know, in the sessions, we go into the Medu to further the translations that are brought forward on just a surface level, right? There's always deeper layers. It continues to layer and level continuously, non-stop, right? So my ba is set before my heart, my keft ib. And here is one of the beautiful pieces from Tutankhamun here within his ba, right? Representing his ba, holding the shin, the shinu in both his claws and his feet here, right? With his wings spread, right? The ba. Egyptian Museum, Cairo. Very Nefer, right? And an aspect of our consciousness that we have access to that is a continuous life journey of interacting and becoming more aware of this aspect of ourselves. Just like every other part, just like the ka, just like the kat, right? Just like the body. It's a continuous journey of learning. And so this is the ba. It's the part that we put this beautiful artistry of the bird, right? Of the falcon, of the vulture, and the spreading of the wings to spread out and be able to soar and fly, right? This part of ourself that has free range, that we depicted as a bird with our head on the top, right? It's a very deep and powerful symbolic metaphor for a part of our consciousness that has the ability to traverse and move around freely, like having wings. So here's the word keft. Keft, which here in front of, and we saw the translation use the word before my heart. In front of, in accordance with, as well as, or corresponding to, a preposition. So as well as, in correspondence. So the ba is in correspondence with the ib, right? Which the ib is another aspect of our consciousness that is a lifelong journey of learning of how to communicate with and becoming more aware of this conscious part of ourselves. So now here's two separate life living conscious forms that are in correspondence with one another, right? The Ba is with the Ib, the heart or the consciousness, the will, the desire, right? But it's very important to distinguish the difference between the Ib and the other word for the heart, right? Which is Hat or Hati, right? We have Ib and we have Hati. The Ib is more so in connection with your emotions, right? It's the space of consciousness, but also the root and place of where emotion is able to manifest, right? The Hati is more so the physical organ, right? But both can be taught in that way. Both can be taught physically or also symbolically or metaphorically. But in more cases, you'll see the Hati be taught as the physical organ, and the Ib is the seat of consciousness, the seat of your emotional center. So the Ba is in accordance with your Ib, right? More so of that energetic Ka version, right? So it is found that I was sound, which is Ucha, upon earth, which is also the word for the eye, to be sound, to be healthy, and have all of your senses working as one to create a sight, which again is a lifelong study and focus of mastery of utilizing and training our senses in conjunction as one to become Ucha. So that leads me to manifest. What is manifest? As a verb, to spread, right? Just like we see here, to spread, to manifest, to show plainly, to discover, to display action. Is from 1560s, reflexive, sense of diseases, etc. To reveal as an operation. So to show plainly, to spread, which is also in right here, as we see also with diseases, a reflexive sense. And that's the etymology. Here's the Merriam Webster. Of course, manifest is from hand, right? Literally to show. And so here's the definition: readily perceived by the senses. So anything that's perceived by your senses is what is manifest, right? So this is why it's also very important, in which most of us should know, the importance of observation. That which what you place your observation on, your attention on, grows, right? What's perceived by your senses is what is manifest, especially by the sense of sight. So imagine if your sense of sight is connected through all of your senses as a watch it. The ability to manifest, especially by sense of sight, your watch it, is now compounded, not just by 1, by 2, by 3, by 4, by 5, by 6 senses, which really are expressed out when we look into the actual neurology and our proprioception sensory that creates a 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th senses that we have the ability to become more aware of and open. And by being able to utilize our senses, like the watch it, right? All of them to create a sense of sight, you're now compounded with the ability to what's known as to show, right? Easily understood or recognized by the mind. Obvious, right? But we also have the terms latency, right? Where something is dormant. Something is dormant. And it's not shown, right? It hasn't manifest to your senses, but it still exists there, right? Like a latent disease, right? And so just because one thing isn't manifested through your perceived senses doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't exist already. It's a pre-existing condition, right? And so just becoming aware of it is what manifested, allows it to spread and grow. Or everything always has an opposite reaction as well. So you can de-manifest something as well. And we do it all the time anyways, right? It's just our level of awareness for us to utilize certain tools and certain actions, which starts with the Peka Imku, and really cleansing and cleaning to bring a better sight, which brings a greater awareness. And it only can happen from Peka Imku, right? And that's what allows the ability to manifest, for sure. Plate 7 here in the Peret Imheru. The beginnings of the praisings and glorifications of coming out and going into the Neter Kurt. Akut, glorious, shining, bright. In a Mentet, the Neferet, of coming out by day of Pert Imheru, in Keperu, and forms of all existence, which he pleaseth, Keperu Neb Meri F, and of playing at Sinet, and Chemes, sitting in the hall, and Pert Im Ba Ankh, coming forth as a Ba living. So literally one that manifests, that spreads out and can travel as a Ankh, as a living, light, conscious being, right? And so here, coming forth by day as Keperu, one who can create any form of existence, right? Can transform, transmute, can manifest at will, de-manifest at will. Kepera, as he pleaseth, as he Mari, right? So when I read things like this, it just makes me wonder, how deep does that go, right? For the scribe who wrote this, because understanding our own neurology as organic bodied beings, and having a brain and a nervous system and a pulse, many of the operations are the same foundationally, right? And one of those things is our ability to perceive everything that we're taking in, that we're listening from an outside source. We filter it through our own perception, through our own awareness. So if I say the dog, and I say picture a dog, everyone, whatever dog that's in your mind, that's through your filters. You know, it's not the same as mine, or it may be, right? But everyone has a different image of a different dog that's a different size. And that's how communication works. That is a constant expansion of awareness, learning that. Because a lot of times when we speak to each other, we speak to each other as if we understand the exact meaning of the words that we're using to communicate. And that's why there's so much, you see so much confusion, and why when you see me communicate with these multiple people with different thought processes and different, they don't even agree with what they're doing, and I'm able to stay consistent with each individual person and just keep them all into one thing that allows me to continue my point, even though they're all saying three different things, is because of my expansion of my awareness, that when I'm talking to people, each person is receiving an individualized image in their mind. And so it allows me to be more effective in my communication when speaking to people, right? And so understanding that, when I look at these writings and I attempt to place myself within the mind of the scribe that's writing this and reading this, when he says to transform all forms of existence at will, how real was that for him, right? And it's whatever we believe our limitations are, that's where it stops for us, right there. Is this, am I able to do it this way, that way? How attainable is that for me, right? And in what way, in what form, right? And so understanding that the concept of as above so below, that which exists externally is only a reflection of that which is taking place internally, then for one to create a reality where Keperu Neb Meri is a fact, right here in the Netter Kurt and the Ka, becoming aware of your conscious body outside of the physical, right? It just really shows me just how deep the ancestors were, and how much focus of the internal realms that they placed, which reflected in the external. I mean, the longest lasting, most Nefer civilization, physically building these magical living books of buildings that, I mean, it's that can only exist because of what was taking place on the Ka level, and that the great ancestors understood, and that they had a direct ability to wield and control, right? And so as I continue to read this, the direct word after this is Heba, which is playing, right? Playing a game, playing at Senet, which is a Nefer concept, to take an aspect of immortality and turn it into a game, right? To make it fun. So the transformation of all the things that you please is directly connected to being playful, right? Sitting in the hall, coming forth as a Ba living. So it's very important for us to approach the drawing or the attraction of what we desire, which is Keper Meri, to come into existence, to come into being, to become, to be born, to happen, to grow, to develop oneself, to manifest oneself, to take shape, to transform oneself, to change, to occur, to realize, to begin to create that which you love, that which you wish, that which you desire, is all rooted within being playful, right? And so that's a super important part of this whole thing that I think gets forgotten when it comes to manifesting, and being able to be playful with it and enjoying the process, learning how to enjoy the process, because there's so much that we can look at and it ain't, there's no, you know, there's no joy in those things, and there's plenty of that, right? And you know, one of the foundations of coming forth as the owl is in Yah, in the moon, which I always was deeply connected to that before connecting to Ra. It was always the moon, which is directly connected to TEHUTI, right? So understanding that and traveling through different spaces, different webs that would be considered dark. There's a lot of space that, you know, that requires a different level, right? So but I recognize in these times where we can create an environment around ourselves to be playful, which only can exist really when you feel safe. No one's playing when you're not safe, right? So so being able to create a safe environment to do what you please, right, to be in control, is rooted within playfulness, right? So that's a very important part, because a lot of times when things when things start going left, it's like, oh, now it's like, please help, right? And that's how it works. This is kind of like a natural byproduct, and again, what comes with rebuilding new habits and new ritual for self, and in those times of playfulness and feeling great, using that as a catalyst to go get what you want, go get what you desire. And that bright playfulness energy is far more effective versus non, right, and tight and stressed. It's you end up blocking yourself. So here in the Peret in Peru, we directly see the importance of Heba, which also has the glyph of the two fingers here, right? So which organ is directly associated with desire, with love, with wish, right? So that's a question for the chat. So which organ is directly associated with desire? And today for this session, I got the Atef Netter. That's been the frequency, that's been the tone, that's been the Medu. So dua to the great Atef for Atef Netter. All right. Let's see. Nukpu says, Hotep dua, motivation and energy. Henu. All right. Basa Tut put Eve, heart. Wonderful. Absolutely. To our great Basa Tut, which organ is directly associated with desire? The heart, right? That's it's absolutely true. So when we look at the heart here, here we go, and we have two words for the heart right here, Eve and Hati, Ib and Hati. And here we are. It's just like how I showed Ib, heart, will, desire, courage, right? The forefront of a lion. The whole concept of having a heart of a lion is directly from the Medu Neter, because the word for the physical organ of the heart is the glyph of a lion, right? Heart, will, desire, courage, right? So just even imagining this right here embedded onto the physical organ, right? And just embedding that there, installing that directly into the Hati, into the heart, right? Because when it comes to desire, when it comes to willpower, willpower is something that has to be built. It's something that has to be grown, right? It does get deplenished in many different ways. And so it's very important, you know, it's a big process, but our willpower to do something, the courage, the confidence, the certainty, the heart to move forward, to do the things that we know we should do, right? Or just doing the things that you desire, right? That's what this session is about. It's about whatever you desire to be able to bring that forward into existence. What does that look like? We're writing this. We know that the ancestors were living it, right? So, and we know Keparab means to always continuously grow and transform and expand. So whenever, just for me personally, at a time when I'm feeling stuck, or there's something there that I have to get over or move behind me, right? So that way I can get forward, or I'm moving, and that there's a weight that is slowing me down, right? That I need to cut and remove that weight, so that way I can take off, right? I just look at these things, and as I look at them, and as I go through and I put together these sessions that help me organize my thoughts and organize my process, and I bring them to you all, just to give you, you know, part of step-by-step processes of what's taking place, and giving everyone who desires to want what they want and to be able to receive it, embedded within these sessions, is a deep level intentional heka. For there has to be steps prior to make sure that opens up a well, because that's so important for us to for when it comes to manifestation, being able to bring whatever we want to bring forward, right? The physical body is based on, the brain system is based on a reward system, and that's how we continue to keep moving forward and keep growing and doing things, right? We build a reward system. Whatever we like to do, there's a reward system we've attached to it. So that's why we continuously manifest those things in whatever way it is. It's not necessarily good or bad. Is it useful? Is it not useful to you? You know, is this thing that you're doing, is it useful to you? If it's not useful, why am I using it? Right? The ability to Keper Marie, to create, to the desire, the wish, is directly associated with the Ib, right? With the Hati, with the heart. So just, and we understand that our consciousness is seated there. Our thoughts are produced from that, right? In the Shabaka stone, PTAH teaches the Ib and the Nes, right? The tongue is directly connected to the heart, which the tongue is utilizing vibrational waves to manifest a more condensed reality that's expressed in a latent form from the initial spark that takes place in the Ib, right? So we've always taught the root of what everything that we do is within the heart space. So it's so very important that with whatever we're choosing to do, that it has to have some form of connectivity to the Eve. And if it doesn't, we know where the work is, right? To be able to put ourselves in position to make sure that we're always leading with the left, leading with the Eve, and doing the things that are building the Eve and cultivating the Eve, right? And washing the Eve and making sure that it's cleansed, because that's the space, right? It all starts there. It all starts here, right? That's why it's Hati, the forefront. This is where it begins. So for anything else, if whatever is attempting to be manifested, we know that it first resides within the Hati, and being able to do what we mer, if the reflection isn't exactly what we want it to be, we know where the source is, right? There's something here. There's something there. And then this is what then leads to all the other parts of your body, right? It starts from your first organ, and then the rest of your organs begin to grow. So it starts from there, and physically it connects to all parts of your body as well, right? And so when we begin to utilize the pointing to the body, and learning and finding the where different seats of emotion are rooted in the physical body, right? Because we all know the body holds trauma, right? And that's why if you hurt a part of if you hurt your finger and you heal it, right, it no longer hurts, but you just think about it, ooh, it hurts again, right? A lot of the pain, especially when it comes to physical chronic pain, is based off of memory. I don't know if you all know that, but most chronic pain is based off of memory of the pain prior. It ain't because the physical thing today is producing the same effect that our neurology is creating a sensation of pain. No, it's mostly based off of memory, right? So if we can invoke and create a physical manifestation based off of memory, then we can do the same thing connected to an emotion, right? Because pain is just an expression, right? So there's different ways to begin to shift and change your emotional state, which is all of what PTAH taught, all the great scribes of Ma'at. State control, right? Being able to control your state at will. And then once you embody the state, you're able to produce it, and others feel what you're producing because you're an embodiment of it. And that all comes from the Peka Imku, right? Which is directly connected to the heart, the Ib, right? Which is also the Iab or the Abu, which means to purify or to cleanse, that we do in the pouring down Nu, right? So here is Hati, heart, will, desire, courage. To truly begin manifesting what you desire, you will need to purify and cleanse out what you don't want first. This is the purpose of pouring down Nu, right? And so here's the first session, the Seshep session of the Peka Imku that I brought forward for everyone to begin doing. And so we're going to start here, and we're going to go through the pouring down Nu process before we move on to the next section. So here we are. I am pure of mouth, pure of hands. So everyone can read this as I read it. All right, we'll start from the first word right here. Right? The Neter the great God, I am pure of mouth, pure of hands, is said to him, come twice by those who see him, because I have heard speech that spoken by without covering upon their faces, because I have done right and truth. O Neb of right and truth, I am pure. My hati is washed. My pehi are cleansed. My interior hath been in the pool of right and truth, without a member in me lacking. I have been purified in the pool southern. Right? So washing the hati, which is also the word we use for the forefront, right? Which also is the heart, is abu. All right, so let us do this process. So everyone get if you're gonna stand up and do this with me, which is definitely suggest. So that way you can also receive the direct benefit. Let me switch my audio. All right. Let's fix that. All right, everyone stand up for those who are participating. And we're going to do the pouring down new process, right? We start with the front, then we go to the back, and then we do front, back, and then we do the eb, the interior, everything internal, right? So front, back, and internal. All right. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Reach up. Abu. And you can use the tone if you like, Abu, that we see here in the Preb Imharu. Do it again to the back. Abu. Feel what you feel, hear what you hear, smell what you smell. All right, just allow that water to flow and wash down the front of the body, wash down the back of the body. All right. And we'll do it a third time. Up to the top of Nu. Pouring internal. Feel what you feel. Hear what you hear. All right. Washing that down, right? And you have underneath you, right? You have the Shinu, you have the circle, you have that Saba, that doorway, that any unwanted frequencies, you push down into that vortex, into that portal, all right? Allowing just the Abu to wash over the Ka, right? And imagining this process as it takes place and using as much of your senses as you can, right? And this is where a lot of the Heka happens. It's in the uses of your senses. And it's not something you can just turn on and, no, it's it is a consistent, diligent discipline, right? Of being able to sit for 10 minutes at a time and only smelling the water, right? And anytime that your focus shifts from that, you got to start over, right? And being able to be embedded into the process and enjoy the process, right? It's very important to enjoy the process. right? It's very easy to take it, very serious and try very hard, right? The concentration, which is very good. You can set it up that way, but at a point you have to let it go and relax, right? It's a very important aspect of this Pekka Mku process and the cleansing, right? So let's do it again. We're going to do the front, we're going to do the back, and we're going to do the internal. All right. Reach up, grab that new bowl. Feel what you feel, smell what you smell, hear what you hear, taste what you taste. Wonderful. Let's do the back. Reach up, grab that new bowl. One more time, reach up. Her E, internal. Washing all of those organs, right? Wonderful. All right. So notice how you feel now and compare it to right before we just started this process, and notice the difference. All right. It's a reward system. I have not known it. Nuk Ra, coming forth from Nu. The soul, the Ba, that is nature, that is divine, the creator of his members. Abomination to me is sin, not do I look upon it. All right. So right after washing of Nu, I brought everyone into the Per Imheru of light, of becoming a neb of light, right? So after the cleansing process, right directly after, we're going to go into 1. So there's a 10-step process. There's a 10-step process that I'm going to give everyone. We're going to focus on 1 through 5 in this one. So directly after pouring down Nu, now we start a 1 through 10 process. And 1, which is called 1 is fun. Okay, so it's important to have fun. 1 is fun. And it's so now Nuk Ra coming forth from Nu. So what you do is, right, we're coming forth from Nu, in which Ra comes forth from Nu. So 1 is fun is very important. And what you do is you imagine Ra, the sun, right in front of you, right, blasting you, shooting you with Aku, right, light. 1 is fun, and it's very important to be smiling during this process, right, and enjoying it, bathing yourself in the Aku and having fun with it. And so you start in front of you and you have Ra just go around you, right, from the sides all the way to the back, to the other side, back to the front. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. You can just have Ra as a single body rotating around you, but what I like to do, I like to have Ra start here, and then I have him stretch, so he stays stationary and he stretches, so it just continues to keep growing until it's all the way around, and then it reattaches here. So at the conclusion, it's like I'm in the middle of Ra, right? And I'm being surrounded by all the Aku, receiving all the Aku. So this is one is fun. And there's something that you can do with your hands, and it's important, right, that you're in the proper stance. I went into the stance in the last session. Be sure everyone go and make sure that you're shoulder length apart. Your knees are a little bent. You're relaxed. Your hips are kind of forward a little bit, right? Kind of just can't really see, but your hips are forward just a little bit, and you're not tense. Don't be tense and tight, right? You want to be firm, but you don't want to be real tense. Very light tension, right? And reflective. So as you're in this stance and you're doing the one is fun, right? You can do your arms, your hands like that, right? And if you're standing relaxed, if you're just relaxed and you take your wrists and you bend them forward, you'll start to feel your body go forward just a little bit, right? And as you pull them up, you'll feel your body start to recline. And if you do it sideways, you'll return back to equilibrium, right? But your body needs to be relaxed. And when you put those wrists forward, you start to feel your body go forward a little bit. As you pull them backwards, you can feel yourself moving backwards. You do sideways, you return back to the middle. So one is fun. Start at the front and go to the back, and then directly on the sides, right? And so that's the original way that I learned this. So this is what we're going to do. So after pouring down Nu, we say one is fun. And you just imagine Ra just blasting you with Aku. And as you smile, it actually opens up the back of the neck, right? The Useret, which is the stake, which is also the back of the neck. It opens up. So it actually, those muscles open that area up. One is fun. And you just blast yourself with that Aku. Allow it to go around you. And then when you're ready to go to the back, you flip your hands up. Allow it to just continue to go around you to the sides and back to the front. Feel what you feel. Hear what you hear. Smell what you smell. Taste what you taste. See what you see. Wonderful. So that's one is fun. All right. And so directly after one is fun, you have two. Two is shu. Right? Two is shu, which is referring to the feet, but of course, shu. So two is shu, and this is where you begin to imagine roots growing at the bottom of your feet, digging into Geb, into Ta, into the land. Now, as I do this process, I always speak about the importance of doing it slow, especially as you build this up. The slower you go, the more invested that you are in it, and the time and attention that you put in it, you can turn it on at will when you need to, and you have a very intricate system that you've been building over time. It's like a muscle, right? You have to work it, and as you work it, you just embody the thing. So go very slow and dig those roots into Geb and feel the dirt. Feel it as you dig in. Hear the roots growing into the ground, right? Smell. and just keep digging those roots deep into the ground until you reach the center point, right? And you're going to keep going. And when you see that center point, you're going to see occur a mehi, a very powerful, energetic ka that's at the center point of Geb, of Ta, and allow those roots to just begin to wrap around that center and begin to embed itself in and lock itself and allow that Ka energy to flow up those roots into your feet, right? Allow it to flow, and as it goes up your feet, up to your legs, into that space at the very bottom of the spine, right in the middle, right there, you'll take that and allow that Ka energy to just rotate around that lower, very lowest part of your spine, right? And just allowing that system to just rotate, right, through those roots, connecting you, directly grounding you to Geb, to Ta, giving you a strong, safe, firm stance, right? Just like the ground on the electrical plug, for you to have power, you have to have a ground, right? This ground is going to allow us to cultivate high levels of aku and energy in our bodies to utilize for whatever purpose that we like, right? So just keep allowing that aku, that ari, that work, that ka to filter through those roots and root up into that lower mehi. And then you grab it and you wrap yourself with it, right? You take it, you grab it, and you wrap yourself with it. Take it and you grab it and you wrap yourself with it. That right there, and as you wrap yourself with it, you are a tree, right? You're rooted into the ground. You're a tree, and you can see that Ka, you can feel that Ka coming up and wrapping itself around you, right? That's 4 is core. 4 is core. 3 is tree, right? So 1 is fun, 2 is shoe, 3 is tree, right? After you ground and you root, you now the tree, as you grab those roots. 4 is core. 5 is, we'll get to the next one here, but 4 is core, and that's when you wrap that Ka, right? That's Sekim. We can go very deep, but I want to keep it very simple and just strictly to the Ka right now, and allow that draw up to hug us. And you can feel yourself literally, you feel like you're stuck to the ground, right? You're literally planted on the ground and you don't want to move, right? You're a tree. And as you continue to allow that Ka energy to flow, it just gets stronger and stronger and faster and faster and faster. And let it just grow faster and faster. And each time you're getting rooted stronger to the ground, each time grounded to where you can't move. You don't want to move, right? You're just allowing that aku to hug you in safety and protection, right? Into that ground, and just body, and just allow it to hug you. Feel what you feel, hear what you hear, right? I like to hear birds chirping as I'm outside in the tree. Feel shoe, wind blowing, the smell of fruit. Coconut water is one of my favorite beverages, so when I like to taste the coconut of the coconut tree. But it can be whatever you like, whatever fruit, whatever you want, your favorite fruit. Imagine that taste in your mouth as you embody that tree, as you continue to ground, right? That's 4 is core, getting that core nice and strong and solid. And you notice as you sit in this position, the ability to control your thoughts become much more easy, right? And you can just silence. You can turn the volume all the way down. And you can just hear the space that you're in, the tree that you're embodying. All right. So now, forest core, once we get a nice strong root and a good energy flowing, next we have 5 alive. So now we take our hands, we open our hands up, right, and put them to the side. So kind of like this, right? Relaxed, put them to the side, 5 alive. And so now you're gonna imagine all of that ka that you're rooting in that lower space of your spine, and you're gonna bring it up, bring that energy on up to the eve, to the hati space, right? So now you're connected to the center point of Geb, directly connected to your lower spine, on up directly connected to your eve. And that ka energy is flowing, and as it rises up to the eve, it begins to spread throughout your arms and start to come out your fingers like a little spout, right? Just a little release of the ka that's now being filtered through the eve, that's rooted in safety and protection, and allow that to just flow through your arms, right? And come out your fingertips. And if you give yourself enough attention to your fingertips, you can begin to allow yourself to feel a pulsing, kind of like your fingertips are breathing. All right, if you just place your consciousness in your fingertips and allow your fingertips to breathe with you, you can feel it. And just allow that ka to just slowly spout out your fingertips, right? Giving you a release. This is 5 alive. Okay, wonderful. So we'll stop right here at 5 alive. So I taught you the process of the pouring down Nu. 1 is Shu, 1 is Fun. Ra, blasting you with Aku. 2 is Shu, those roots digging to the center point of Geb, rooting itself around, you embodying yourself as a tree, right? 3 is Tree, bringing that ka energy up those roots to the lower part of your spine. 4 is Core, and then taking that ka energy and wrapping it around you 3 times and continuing to just do it, wrap it, right? Have fun with it, get into it, have fun. The more fun you have, the better it's going to be. The more power you're going to feel, the more energy you're going to flow. Just have fun with it. Enjoy the process, right? Be engulfed, absorbed into the process. That's where the secret is, right? 4 is Core, bringing that up, letting it flow, then bringing that lower spine space on up to the eve and allowing it to spout and spew out of your hands into your fingertips. 5 alive, right? And so now all of that building, you create a space to release, right? And that right there is good enough for you to continue to build, and you have a way to release it, right, through your fingertips, right? So to everyone for going through that, and yeah, let us continue with the session. I hope you all enjoyed that and find that beneficial. All right. So this is from the Geb session that I did on Sonnetter, version in the Papyrus of Nu. Formula for going in and going out. A call to you, Ra. See the secret of the doors at the stake of Geb, at that balance of Ra, by which he carries what is right every day. See me as I hack the earth. I ensure my arrival in my old age. Right? Useret, back of the neck, stake, firmly planted into the ground. May I be united to the land of Techeta, of everlastingness. So now Kanem or Kanum, may I be united. So now as you're 5 alive and you're united to the land of Techeta, right? Kanem na erta in Techeta. May I be united to the land of everlastingness, right? So now you understand that this land that you're connected to is a land, is a ta Techeta, is a land of eternity, of immortality. So all of that ka energy that you're absorbing from Geb, from ta, is directly programmed with immortality and everlastingness. So that's being built and grown and cultivated within you, starting with the soles of your feet, allowing that process to be stored at the lower part of your spine. And so what is this? Once we take it from the spine, we take it up to the hati, to the eve. And what's that word? Ba, may I be filled. Ba, which to fill with light. May I be filled according to what wisheth Seshep, to receive my heart. So may I be filled according to what my heart wishes to receive. Right? And so the same way, just on an electrical level, right? When you look at any form of electricity and a battery, you have the positive and you have what's called the negative, or the ground, right? So being united to the land is what allows the ba to occur, to receive the space in the eve, right? Because it's very important to make sure that you're able to keep that rooted to the ground, because those of us who are heart-led, a lot of that gets taken advantage of, right? Many of us are givers, where we want to give, or we just give, and that has to be protected. That has to be cultivated for sure, and made sure to be protected. And that's another very beneficial part of the grounding that I teach. It allows you to connect a space from your eve directly to that root spot, and keep you from overextending your eve, and being too giving, which is very important, because then it becomes draining, right? Which is not what we want, right? We want to be filled with light. We want to be filled with all the good things. So as we pull out the ku, the things that we don't want, we now allow receptivity, especially as you become more aware and you start to train and work with these connections, these pathways, especially the eve, and doing these processes that I teach, you'll be able to cultivate a very strong heka and wield through your embodiment. So yes, allow that from that lower spine to move on up to the eve. May I be filled according to what you wish it to be, right? So that you can do what you please. So there's these processes that we have to take to get to those levels that where we're able to manifest in the physical at will the things that we want. And that's where we're headed to. That's where we're walking to. And to get to that level, to get to that point, we there's a process. So let's follow the process. All right. So now, after teaching you about the connection and bringing that space up to the hati, to the ebe, right? to the physical organ itself, as well as being able to place yourself in the consciousness of it, the energy of it, both, right? Always, as much as you can, be aware of both whenever you're doing these practices, your physical body, as well as your Khat and your Ka, right? Being as consciously aware of those two at the same time, right, is the first level we want to get to where we can do it at will with any organ, with any body part at will for an extended period of time. So when we look at the Ib, when we look at the heart space, and why it's so important for us to place a focus in a practical way to begin to energetically cleanse the Ib, what's the importance of that? So I'm gonna take everyone here to Science of the Heart. This is Science of the Heart, exploring the role of the heart in human performance. And this is from Heart Math Institute Research Center, right here. Chapter 6, Energetic Communication. The first biomagnetic signal was demonstrated in 1863 by Johar Bowell and Richard McPhee in an MCG that used magnetic induction coils to detect fields generated by the human heart. A remarkable increase in the sensitivity of biomagnetic measurements has since been achieved with the introduction of the superconducting quantum interference device, SQUID, in the early 1970s. So the ECG and the MCG signals have since been shown to closely parallel one another. All right, so using tools such as superconducting quantum interference devices, we're able to achieve biomagnetic measurements of the heart, and how sensitive the Ib, the heart, actually is, the Hati in itself as a physical organ, right? In this section, we discuss how the magnetic fields produced by the heart are involved in energetic communication, which we also refer as cardio-electromagnetic communication. Okay, so what does that mean? What does it mean that the magnetic pulse from the Ib has a communication, right? So for those of us in Ma'at, these are scientists just studying the heart, right? And for those of us in Ma'at that learn about the Hati and learn about the Ib, have doorways to very deep level subconscious energetic communications on levels that those without Ma'at and the Medu Necher don't have. Okay, so when we understand that the heart is a magnetic communicator, and we're doing all of this Ib washing, and we're consciously communicating with our Ib, right? And we understand that there's a magnetic field around us that the heart is emanating, right? Us going to the root of the source of what pulls things to us and placing a conscious awareness in there. And there's many tools that and methods that I'm putting together and creating a system that I'm a bring forward to allow people to come to train with me and learn from me a lot of these methods that I'm using and putting together to take it to the next level, because this is just the baseline foundation. So anything from the future that I'll be teaching in different classes and settings that you all can participate in, this is going to be the foundation, pouring down new and 1 through 10. So that's why I'm bringing this forward on these sessions that are freely available so for in the future, in the more deeper inner level teachings that won't be public. This right here is the foundation. So as we're doing the cleansing of the Ib, and we're Ibu, and we're washing our Ka with the tone of the Ib, so it's all taking place. It's just a super cultivated magnetic frequency of the Ib that we're using to do some very powerful cleansing, right? Starting with the cleansing process internal, before we attempt to go out there and utilize these same processes for things out there, but starting internal and getting all of this cleansed and healed, right? So the heart itself has through the cardio electromagnetic communication, is the most powerful source of electromagnetic energy in the human body, right? Because if there's certain things that's not cleansed out, as you build yourself with more Ka, with more energy, it's also going to manifest more of the things that you don't want, right? That's the importance of Peka and Ku, and making sure that we're doing these processes to dig within the Ib, and utilize the other steps as well. But starting here to really cleanse that out, because you're only going to manifest more of the things that create like there's patterns, right? Pattern recognition. If we look at the patterns, and there's patterns of things that we don't want, then there's something else that we have to remove, because as we continue to cultivate and build up, if you don't cleanse, it's going to bring more of what you don't want as well, because it's still internal. So the magnet is unbiased to what we consider good or bad, right? It doesn't matter. So Peka Mku, the heart is the most powerful source of electromagnetic energy in the human body, producing the largest rhythmic electromagnetic field of any of the body's organs, right? And everyone can go back to my session on my last session on music, and teaching how the body in itself, how we are all artists as himu, as craftsmen, who are crafting and able to shape and form, because our bodies are made up of multiple instruments. Our voice used to project, to create reality, but even before you use your voice, the vibration that your organs, the magnetic field that your organs are penetrating, your state that you embody as you come forward, pre-exist your speech. Your speech comes from your Ib. So you're already creating and manifesting before you even speak, right? The heart's electrical field is about 60 times greater in amplitude than the electrical activity generated by the brain. The heart's electrical field is 60 times greater than the activity generated from the brain. This field, measured in the form of electrocardiogram, ECG, can be detected anywhere on the surface of the body. So we can detect with an ECG measurement of the heart's electrical field from anywhere on the body. Okay? Anywhere. That's very important to remember for what's coming up next. Furthermore, the magnetic field produced by the heart is more than 100 times greater in strength than the field generated by the brain, and can be detected up to 3 feet away in all directions using squid-based magnetometers. Right? So the electromagnetic field of the heart can be detected 3 feet outside of your body. right? So in Ma'at, when we teach about Peka Mku, and we teach about the Maka'it, the scales, and the Ib with Shu and being light, right? We truly understood the power of the heart, right? And here is just some science to show forth that the attention that we place on our hearts is the root. Like, that's where everything else can begin to sprout from, because it's also our emotional center. The heart's magnetic field, which is a strong rhythmic field produced by the human body, not only envelops every cell of the body, but also extends out in all directions into the space around us. Prompted by our findings that the timing between pulses of the heart's magnetic field is modulated by different emotional states, we have performed several studies that show the magnetic signals generated by the heart have the capacity to affect individuals around us. So, understanding this, you can walk into a room before you walk into a room. You can consciously place your intention to allow your magnetic field of your Eve, and depending on the work that you do with your Eve, depending on how much power and will and Sekim and Abu and cleansing that you do here in the Eve and gaining control of your emotional state, all counts into your magnetic field in the reaches. This is 3 feet of just, on average, of just regular people, everybody on average. Now, for those of us who cultivate that field, how far can it go, right? And now that we're online, right, and we understand these doors, these portals, what distance, right? There is no distance. You can feel and receive exactly what I want you to feel and receive, right? By consciously placing intent to use the magnetic field of the heart to hug the space that I'm coming into before I come into it. So we see this here, and this any conversation you have, you're going into you have a interview somewhere. You have a business thing that you're wanting to do. You need to communicate with somebody to make something else happen. Before you speak with them, utilize the magnetic signals generated by the heart to affect the individuals around you consciously first, right? When you're aware of that, now you're able to embody a state through an emotion. And we have to cultivate those too. We have to practice with those too. We got to take those emotions inside of us, bring them outside of us, begin to play with them, experience, learn them, and put them back, which then allows you to grow and embody a state at will. And because everything's rooted in the Eve, you then are able to project that, right? So if I want to project a frequency of certainty, I'll embody that state, right, consciously. And I'm aware of the magnetic field around the Eve. And if there's Medu Netter associated with any of these words, right, and all the teachings that interweave into those, it's all mixed within an elixir in the heart that I'm able to embody and walk into a room with before. So as you begin to allow yourself the ability to work with these magnetic fields, the Ka, and understand the the magnetic workings, and how it's all rooted in the Ebe, you don't, there's no, everything becomes cleansed, right? So before I walk into a space or a platform where I know there's going to be isfet, there's no, it doesn't affect me, none. Because I'm embodying a state before I even come up on the screen, and I'm doing these practices. What I'm giving to y'all, I do this. So as I embody these practices and I build that aku up, and so I go through my session, and there's a little time in between, you know, it's an embodiment state, right? So it doesn't even matter, right? Isfet doesn't matter at all. When you do these processes to cleanse and come forward, because everything else will just, it'll just do what everyone saw. And so this is very powerful to understand and to continue to cultivate and grow. Whatever level or layer of understanding that you have this right now, keep doing the practices and keep building, and you will go deeper in it. You will unlock a whole nother reality with this, of what you can do with it. Okay? Every cell in our bodies is bathed in an external and internal environment of fluctuating invisible magnetic forces. So this is, I suggest everyone go get this and begin to study this and use these practices while you do it, so that way it embeds even deeper. So when we look at the Ebe and our emotions, we'll see these words that his heart is happy. Show oneself to be judicious, diligent, conscientious, which is Ebe. To be lovable, happy to rejoice, lovable, love, Ima, Ebe. To accomplish the will of, Eri, Ebe. Right? It's always going to have Ebe in it when we're talking about our emotional space, which the magnetic field of the heart is modulated by different emotional states. So it's very important to learn about that, and of course the cleansing of the Ebe in the space. So as you're doing the 1 through 5 that I just taught, when you're in that 5, here's a very powerful thing that you can begin to do, right? Is envision and embody yourself as Heru or Nut, right? If you want that feminine aspect of what you're doing, and literally becoming a tree and spewing out that which is then able to feed the Ba, right? All that Aku and that Ka that you're bringing up from the ground into your area that you're cultivating in the lower parts of your spine, wrapping yourself with it, bringing that cultivated Ka up to the Ebe space and allowing it to spew out of your hands, right? Which can then replenish the Ba. That's another aspect that will always continue and cultivate your practices. Nothing goes to waste. You can use everything. So as I taught through the my portal that's under my feet, whenever I'm pouring down new and I'm getting rid of the things that I don't want, the frequencies and the tones that I don't want, and it's going through that portal. That portal is a transmutation doorway that then is allowed to seep into the ground and replenish Geb with. Everything is recyclable, right? And so here in the 5 Alive, as the energy is flowing out of your fingers, right? And your Ka has all that energy flowing, and you're slowly allowing it to spew out of your hands, right? You can then have your Ba which I'm just focusing on the ka, right, in the kat. But you can then have the ba outside of yourself, receiving what you're giving, right, as heru, right, as heru. But that's a much deeper, much more difficult thing to do. But I give it to you all for you to, work with and practice. Because the more that you can become aware of these different forms of your consciousness and sit in them consciously, where you're absorbed, where you're not in your physical room no more. You are these things. And so there's the to begin to cultivate the feminine aspects of that, if you need that, right? Because it's important that we have a balance. That's what we always talk. That's why the Purmaru, you're united with Neter, you're united with Neteret. You're united with both masculine and feminine aspects of the Natiru, male or female, right? And this is the the proper way in which to cultivate the frequencies within you and have them balanced, right? This is the beautiful part. And so this is for those who want to cultivate more of a feminine ability to receive, right? To be receptive of new ideas, of fresh new concepts, and just to be receptive, right? And that which you can transmute and transform into food and sustenance for other aspects of yourself, for your ba. And here's a masculine form for those who want to utilize more of a masculine form, but also this is great because you can do both, right? But you can also pick and choose through different processes. Do one, focus on one, and then next focus on the other. Do one for a month, right? And then the next month do Nefertim. And as you do that at will, you'll be able to use whichever one you want for whatever purpose that you need to use it for. So right here is Nefertim as the Seshin or the Seshim. And I have a whole entire session on the flower of life. And so all of that session can be deeply embedded within your five alive, coming forward as Nefertim, to be complete, perfect, right? All right, so as we continue, here's the Ebers papyrus Ebers, Ebers. Dating belongs to Dynasty 18, reign of Amenhotep I, 1550 to 1530 BCE. Internal note, because it's written at the conclusion of it, year 9, 3rd month of Shemu, harvest season of Amenhotep I. One of the longest surviving medical papyri, 20.23 meters, 66 feet. Contains 108 columns, around 700 prescriptions and spells. A comprehensive medical encyclopedia, covers internal medicine, heart, vessels, stomach, liver, dermatology, skin diseases, burns, ulcers, eye diseases, gynecology, pregnancy, dentistry, mental disorders linked with heart disturbances or spirits, magical incantations alongside remedies. And so this is in Papyrus Ebers 1550. Earliest detailed description of the heart in circulation, Ebers 854 to 855, the vessel book. And so here we are. Here it is. Just a Nefer document written in the Medu Neter. And so here is EB 854 to 855. Secrets of the Physician. The First Vessel Book. Beginning of the secret knowledge of a physician. Knowledge of the workings of the Hati, heart, and the Hati heart in total. The vessels lead from this, and this word right here, vessels, is the word met. And I'll go deeper into that in a later session, but because it's very important. The vessels lead from this to every body part, right? So we're talking about the Hati, the heart. So the vessels lead from the Hati to every body part. How these vessels function when any physician, any Sekhmet priest, any magician places his hands and fingers on the head, on the back of the neck, on the hands, on the area of the Eb part, on the arms, on the legs, then it is the Hati heart that he assesses, because its vessels lead to every body part. It is the case that it, the Hati heart, speaks in the front vessels of every body part. So this is very deep, right? And this is speaking about the Hati and how the vessels lead to every single body part. So when you lay your hands on the head, any Sekhmet priest, any physician, any magician or Sa'u is able to determine or assess, because of the connection to the Hati and where it leads, right? So you can literally assess the Hati on any body part on a level of the Sa'u, of the magicians, right? Just as here. Measured in the form of ECG can be detected anywhere on the surface of the body. It's the Hati heart that he assesses because its vessels lead to every part of the body. It all starts with the Hati, both on the physical as well as the Ka. So we understand that the Ka starts first. 855. And so this is a very deep papyrus, given all type of remedies and mixtures for illnesses, for dis-ease, for sicknesses, and it's also mixed in with a lot of Heka. So there's a lot here that's going to take a very long time to unpack, but step by step. With regard to the matter where his flesh is entirely hot, like when a man's heart is tired, and where his way overwhelms him, literally after the way has found him. This means that his flesh is tired as a result of this, like the tiredness in the body of a man who has walked a long way, right? So comparing the tiredness of the heart with the tiredness of a body who's walked a long way, right? Which then can result in the right here where it says flesh is entirely hot, right? Having a tired heart. With regard to the matter where the Eb heart is dark and where he can taste his Hati heart, right? This means that his Eb heart is restricted, and darkness resulting from anger is in his abdomen. It generates cases of neglect, literally cases of swallowing his Eb, which I've taught on many times in PTAH, right? Of the swallowing of the Eb, which results from anger in the abdomen, that's resulting from darkness in the Eb. So here in the Eber's Papyrus 1550 BCE, we see the physical organ that's also connected to the emotional organ that's also connected to another emotion that's connected to another aspect of the body, right? So that's a deep layered wave of conscious awareness, right? And understanding anger in the abdomen, right, can generate an eve that's restricted. So we need to pekka imku this, that's in this, to begin to allow the light to begin to permeate, right? So again, it's dealing with the emotion that's associated with the organ. So it generates cases of neglect, literally swallowing his Eve heart. Because the if we go back here, what's the word for the stomach, for the intestines here? Or not the intestines, but the stomach area. Ra-ib, it's the mouth of the heart. Why? Because we taught on the consumption, right? And consuming things, which is the word which is also the word for brain. But the stomach is the mouth of the heart, because the desire of what you eat, what you consume, is directly associated with the stomach, right? The Ra-ib, mouth of the heart. All right, and so it's very important to recognize that there's emotion associated with organs, right? There's emotions associated with organs. So one very powerful thing that you can begin to do is, and everyone can do this practice with me right now, right? And you can just begin to think of a very happy memory, right? Think of something that just brought some of the greatest joy and happiness to you, right? And just allow yourself to live within that memory and allow that emotion of that happiness and that joy to just grow and be embedded and absorbed in the process. Now, as you begin to allow that joy to grow, I want you to notice that there's a place in your body where that happiness exists, and you can point to it. First impression, point to where at in your body you feel that joy, right? And that's where it starts, because our organs have emotions attached to them through memory, right? So if there's something and that's just the start. And from there, we can go in and we can shape and we can cultivate and color. And I'm gonna bring forward classes and sessions for you all to participate and begin to learn from me these processes and bring them forward. So, but by pointing to where you feel it, you can then begin to change it, right? And so if there's anger, if I find myself in an angered state, and I just ask myself, okay, where at in my body does this originate from? Does this source, does this anger come from? Right? It may be here. It may be here. First impression, it may be the abdomen, right? And from there, you can begin to go to the source of where that exists. So a lot of people don't know that a lot of physiological illness, as I said, and is based off memory. So it's not the physical thing. So a lot of sickness is manifested from emotion. So, and we taught that here, as you can see, right? There's a lot of sickness that we have that is rooted in repressed emotion. And it creates a sickness. It creates a stagnation of blood, right? And in this papyrus, it goes very deep. So, as we continue to learn this, and as I teach you different methods on how to create a somatic bridge between your internal world and your external world, right? So once you have the point in your body where you feel it, now you can begin to imagine that there's a space outside of you that is also a picture that's representative of that feeling and that emotion. So that happiness and that joy that you feel and that you feel in your body that you're pointing to, right? You can then imagine the space outside of you, a picture, and you can point to it, right? And then you can begin to draw the shape around it. And you can put a frame around this shape, and you can grab it. And if you want to make that greater, you can just grab and you can grow that emotion, that energetic magnetic field that you're connecting, that you're in contact with, that ka, that you can build a direct connection, step-by-step process, and grow it and just feel it. Recognize the difference. How you can just take an emotion like that and grow it, and you can bring it down to the size of a postage stamp and recognize the difference. Oh, you want more of it? Grow it again. Wrap, just like Forest Core, where I'm wrapping myself. I want more of that. let me wrap it and let me continue to just allow the joy to grow and build that magnetic field, right? And as I do that and I'm in that happy state, I'm in that joyful state, pleasure is a big one. When you can cultivate and take pleasure and grow it, it makes the it makes you very neuroplastic. And when you're very neuroplastic, you can go in and you can change a lot of powerful stuff. You can get rid of a lot. You can peck and cool stuff that you may look at that you know you need to heal from, that we're staying away from. When you're in that space where you're very joyful and happy and you're full of pleasure, you can go in very easy into those very dark spaces and point to where you feel it, bring it outside of you. There's a safety lesson attached to it, that something I need to get rid of. There's a lot of things that I want to teach you all, but it all starts with understanding that our emotional state is such a more than average force and reason behind a lot of physiological illness, right? It starts on the ka plane, on the mental plane, right? In our emotional state and our E, and being able to cleanse and purify that. And there's a lot of sciences that are just now beginning to find this out, right? And Heart Math is a great institute for everyone to begin to study and learn about coherence in the brain-heart coherence, the vagus nervous system, our nervous system. See, that's the thing that is missed when it comes to a lot of the magic. It's not a spiritual thing, right? It's not this person is gifted, he can feel a lot. No, our nervous system, we all have a spine and a heartbeat and a brain where we can perceive sensation, and just your level of awareness of these things is what creates this supernatural ability. Everyone can do it. Everyone can grow it. Everyone can cultivate it. You can do some very powerful things with just a heightened awareness of what your nervous system is able to do. And it's not spiritual, right? It has nothing to do with that. And so when I'm teaching these processes, it's not based on any of that. right? It's based on on your nervous system, and the studies behind that. So we understand that there's an emotional charge when it comes to the organs, and we always taught that. We were the ones to bring that to the planet. That we're just now today, science is beginning to understand that that's a true thing. You clean up your emotional state, you clean up a lot of your physical problems, right? You clean up your emotional state, you clean up a lot of the weight. You clean up, you pekka imku, a lot of the physical things, your physical body changes, literally. You know, migraines. I've used this for migraines, where through a regression process, because when I was very young, I used to get these super migraines, blackout migraines, where I would just take a pillow and I would just put it over my eyes, shut off all the lights, shut off no noise. No sound, and just go into complete silence and darkness, and I would just black out because these migraines were so just powerful as a young boy. And so now as I go through different processes, and I do a lot of regression, and I go back to those spaces and what caused that, right? There's a feeling and an emotion that's associated with that. Point to where you feel it. Now, where's the first time that I recognize or remember feeling this feeling? Okay, 4, and it goes from there, right? But it's all connected. That physical sensation that we consider pain can be changed and altered, right? If you feel a pain in your body, point to where you feel it. All right, you feel a pain right here in your wherever, point to where you feel it. Notice that there's a color associated with that pain. Oh, it's red. Okay, draw a shape around it. Okay, it has a shape. Now begin to pull that energy out, right? That redness, that pain out. Pull it out, hold it in front of you, right? And this is all happening. You can do it with your eyes opening, but it's your internal eyes. You're tapping my eye. You're looking through your imagination. You're understanding the magnetic field around you, and everything has a ka to it, which can be expressed in a color, in a sound, in a smell. But keeping it as a color, pulling it out, bringing it out, right? Taking that thing that's internal and bringing it out, and recognize that, notice that it may have a rotation to it, right? Everything is expressed in motion, right? We understand the unu, right? And the what's known as the Fibonacci sequence, and the motion, right? So you understand that there's a motion that's associated with that. And once you recognize that spin, if it's something that you don't want, you want more of something else, what do I rather have instead? You know? Oh, what if there's a color that my subconscious mind would bring me that could bring me something that I want, comfort? What would it be? Blue. Okay. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna spin it the opposite direction, and I'm gonna blow it blue. Blow it blue. Turn that color blue. Slam it back into the space where you originally got it from, and notice the pain is gone. Just begin to try that, right? It all starts with points of where you feel it. Recognize that there's a color associated with that. Bring it outside of your body. If it's spinning and you want something different, spin it the other way and get into it. Spin it. Have fun with it. Enjoy it until you can't get it back no more, and then put it back into where you got it from, and your neurology will begin to shift and change, because it's happening on a deep subconscious level. And that's where the true power exists. It isn't where we think it's happening up here at the forefront. You know, oh, this is that, or your belief. It don't matter about your beliefs. If you don't have to believe it works. You can just do it, right? I'm giving you sources. And I'm going to give you some more sources here in a minute. So, but just do it and begin to play with it and understand that these emotions and these sensations are connected to parts in our body, right? Our sight, everything. So, yeah, I could just continue to keep going, but I'm gonna go on here. This means that the E part is restricted in darkness resulting from anger in his abdomen. So we clean up the emotional charge in the organ, it'll heal. Anxiety or something physical. Differential in vivo effects on cancer models by recorded magnetic signals derived from a healing technique. Here's the abstract. Previous research on healing with intent has reasonably demonstrated the validity of the phenomenon, at least when a human healer is present and involved. However, in order for healing to be adopted into more conventional therapies, it must be able to be made scalable. This present study tests the effects of a scalable recording of the Bingston healing method on 3 cancer models. BLBC mice engrafted with 41 breast cancer cells, C57BL mice with melanoma B16 cells, and C3H mice with bladder MBT2 wells were exposed to a recording of healing intent for 4 hours a day for approximately 1 month. In the breast cancer model, there was significant tumor suppression and a reduction of anemia marker HCT in treated versus control mice. In the melanoma, so just here within the breast cancer tumor, there was suppression and a reduction of the anemia marker from intent of this healing method here for 4 hours a day, 1 month, reduced a cancerous tumor in a mouse. In the melanoma model, there were no significant differences except for a reduction in platelet count among the treated mice. For unknown reason, tumor growth never became evident in the bladder cancer model. While the effects of the recording seems to vary by model, there appears reason to pursue scalable delivery systems in multiple models and with multiple doses, so to make it scalable. So what is this Bingston healing method that's used in many different studies on cancers, on sickness, right? Not the new age spiritual healing thing. This is tested. This is tested deeply and studied. So let me show you all and give you all this. I'm giving you all this source, and you may do with it as you please, as much as you're ready and willing to receive, and do what's necessary. Because yeah, here it is. The method, the Bingston healing method, is an innovative healing technique that has been shown to be effective on a wide variety of conditions. The core of the Bingston method is image cycling. Details about the method and how it evolved can be found in the book, The Energy Cure, or in the 6 audio CD set, Hands-on Healing, a training course in the Energy Cure. The technique is largely mechanical and belief-free, but like any new skill, it takes practice and commitment to become proficient. The applications of my techniques have been and continue to be tested under strict laboratory conditions in many independent labs and medical schools. Many peer-reviewed articles based on these evaluations have been published in professional biology and medical journals. This does not make my data true, but it gives the added benefit of having gone through rigorous scrutiny. The bottom line take home. What's the bottom line to take home for this manifestation healing method? What's the bottom line to take home? Message from all my techniques is that you should first and foremost have fun. A playful approach to an area so little understood will take you a long way. And once you start having success, it is equally important to avoid ritualizing any technique. Freshness matters. Ritual is just for safety. I assume that the methods will evolve and improve, right? So being fresh matters when it comes to manifesting, having fun, being playful, right? Everything that we do on a consistency becomes a ritual, right? So when he says avoid ritualizing any technique, he's speaking of doing something based on just doing it, right? If you're doing something and you're not having fun with it, you're negating the power of the manifestation of your Eve, of the magnetic field of your heart being able to go and magnetize what you want. That's playful and fun, right? And huge and bright. That's, you've done the Pekka Imku, and you continue to do the Pekka Imku on a continuous basis, right? And cleanse and do these practices and build that energy up and abu and cleanse and build that magnetic field and become more conscious, so you're in more control of what you want to do. You're more aware of your own body, of your nervous system, of your magnetic fields, of your thoughts. You're more in control of the projections that you're putting out. Everything is a projection. Everything that you say, everything that you do, everything that everyone does is a projection, because it's taking place within you that you're putting out, right? So here is the source for everyone, the Bankston Healing Method, and he gives classes. This ain't free, but you can go to his website, and he gives classes, and you can begin to learn, and there's different levels and layers to it. And I'll also will be providing a class very soon with this that you all will be able to receive. And of course, with these methods that I'm synthesizing with the Medu Neter and in my eye, is just compounding all of the power that it brings. So this is it for everybody. And you can take this with you, and this is just, I'm just giving this to you all for free. So just support, allow your reciprocity to return unto you the things that you want more of, right? If be known this book upon Ta, and be done it into writing upon the Karas, my mouth it is. He shall come forth by day in forms of existence, all which he pleaseth, and shall go in his place, and not shall he be repulsed. Ebe, to think, to believe, to feel, fancy, or to perceive, which is also the word for a tree. Right? So I just taught you all the method 1 through 5. 5 alive, becoming a tree. Right? Which is also a reflection of the Ebe and the magnetic field that is able to be measured 3 feet outside of your body. Right? Using communication. It gets very deep, but Ebe is a tree, and Ebe is to perceive, right? All going back to the heart space, and learning how to Pekka Imku and be in your control your emotional state, right? And get rid of any of the things that bring heaviness or stagnation, right? Keeping things fresh, keeping things new, so that way it assists in manifesting, right? Having fun with it, being playful. The word Heka, magic, is shown as a child, being childlike, being playful, like when we were children, playing, right? Embodied in whatever we were doing, being absorbed in the process, right? That we lose that as adults, which is why the power and the magic goes away, right? Because we stop utilizing those aspects that allow it to exist, right? The imagination and being able to create a state that you can embody and come forward as before you actually physically even do the thing, right? And set your intention, right? Your desire to reach an endpoint. What is intention? It's your conclusion. Know what your conclusion is. These sessions, I don't start with the beginning. I start with the end in mind, right? You start with the end in mind before you approach something, and then you start to chunk it down. If it's something we want to do, bring forward, you start with the end, and then you start to work your way backwards. And that's how I have found to be the most effective in getting to the root of something. But your intention, which is your outcome, know your outcome first. If you don't know your outcome, you're flying in the wind. Anything can happen, and it's good to use. I'm not going to open that loop, but yes, as you continue to do your works and do your cleansing and have fun in the process and enjoy it, smile, allow that aku to permeate you as you're doing these processes and absorb into your skin, right? And the next 6 through 9, 6 through 10, when I teach you all, you'll be able to inverse it and do some very powerful things. So this here is very important that I want you all to take away, and just more aware of the magnetic field around your heart that's always at least 3 feet measurable around you, and just always aware of that. And you can see it, you can feel it around you, right? So now whenever you're walking 3 feet in front of you, you can know for a fact that whatever magnetic state based on your emotional field is pushing out, it's affecting whatever is directly around you at least 3 feet away, as far as being measurable, right? So that's a whole nother awareness of leading with the left, leading with the eve. Literally, it's literally magnetically in front of you, leading you. It precedes your physical body. So let's continue to dig in that space and clean up those emotions that's preventing us from growing. Any less than pleasant emotion, and a lot of it goes back to fear. What are we fearful of? So all of those things, grief, anger, disappointment, embarrassment, sadness that's overextended, these emotions that cause us to not move forward, right? And going in there and feeling that emotion, whatever that feeling that I want to get rid of, whether it's sadness, whether it's embarrassment, whether it's hatred or anger. If I notice a place in my body where that exists, first impression, where does that emotion exist? Point to it. Notice that there's a color associated with that feeling. What color is it? First impression. Now begin to go in and grab all of that and pull it outside of your body. Get all of it, because sometimes it hides. Grab all of that energy, pull it outside of your body. Notice the color. Did it change or stay the same? Is it rotating? Notice the direction that it's rotating in. Okay, grab it and spin it in the opposite direction and keep spinning it and keep spinning it and keep spinning it and keep spinning it until it grows out of control, until you can no longer contain it, until it's the complete opposite of what it was. And when you know you got it, slam it back into that spot. Notice the difference, notice the change, and notice that you can't go back to the old way of being, right? That's a very powerful way to begin to clean up our emotions. So this has been the full circle, leading us directly back to the beginning. I am assessed by many formula. My Ba is set in correspondence with my Ebe. It has found that I was sound upon earth. See me in your presence, Lord of the Natiru. I have reached the pool of the Ma'ati. I am risen as a Neter Ankh, shining Peshjed in the 9 Peshjet amid the sky. I exist as one of them, raised in my paces in Kur Aha. And so the word Ba means to animate, to move the body, to animate the body, and also to name. When you animate something and you name it, it now becomes a living, sentient form. Pouring down Nu, 1 through 5. This is Seshep Session 2, Grounded Living Trees. Uncle Jasaneb, Hotep Marie, Tua for your attention. Without your attention, this does not exist. So Tua and Hotep to everyone who's supporting. Links are pinned to the top. And yeah, I'll conclude here. Bring the great brothers back on the screen. Hotep Marie, Tua. All right. So yes, Tua everyone. Hotep Great to Jed.
Yes. Hold on. Here, let me get the lighting right.
Everyone hit the like button if you have not done so. Tua, and Tua for all the great support. I haven't checked yet, but I expect there to be some great support for this. So Tua and Hotep Marie.
Hotep, peace.
Hotep, great brother.
Can you hear me, great brother?
I can hear you great.
I want to say Tua to you. I'm loving the way your sessions are starting to develop. You're giving us more instructions on the body, the Khat, and what we can actually do. You're taking at least myself into a realm of more than just what we've learned here, being birthed here, from just consume or just copy what's around us, right? Like just the basics of just this body and the basics of even in regards to meditation, where most people love to try to quiet the mind, where you trying to shut down the mind, stop thinking. This basic form of meditation, you've taken us to another side to where you can actually have fun. I thought it was a bar, that quote that you read that says, we're ritual is just for safety, and that hit that's very important. Ritual is just for safety. Kind of made me reflect on some things on how I do certain things, and if I switch up from it, then the worst is going to happen and things going to change. You got to remember to have fun, to be able to keep that childlike imagination, even though our PAUT gave us instructions on how to conduct ourselves. I think that's very nefer. So you've opened up some things for me about what I am capable of doing, rather than just the Matrix starter pack for spirituality. So that was nefer. I love the grounding practices, the 5 alive, the breakdown of the energetic connection. You hit it right on the money when you said the Eve energy is more powerful than the energy that goes to the mind. And that was, anything. I understood that. And it's very challenging for me to right now put that into strong words. And maybe because I need to sit down with that a little more, be aware of that a little more before I can actually give a precise, direct response to that. But I understand it. I see so much evidence and material there that, I want to be able to sit with that a little longer before I try to really go deep. But I so understand it. I understand it so much to where I have to go through the process and spend time with that in order to come back and say, hey, PTAH, I've went through some exercises and some training to where now I can put it in words, but I am aware of it. Let me put it that way. I'm looking at I'm looking at what I feel about it. And I just want to put those little Lego pieces together and say, hey, look, this is what I'm presenting this. This is what I've learned from that. So TEHUTI, PTAH, this was very nefer, man. You got me, you've expanded how I look at my existence altogether. And to have fun. I like that was put in there. To have fun, to learn, to have fun, practice these things, and Pekka am cool. So TEHUTI, you, great brother. This was, like I said, very nefer. So Hotep and new to you, great brother. Dua.
Nini Ka, great brother, Uncle Justin Neb, Tua. Yes. It's a beautiful thing that's taking place, and all of us here who do the work, because that's the only way that it can exist is for that, and the frames that we come forward with is I'm just reverse. I'm very happy about the fun part too, and it's very intentional why I've been using that word for, more specifically, because it's directly shown to empower the manifestations for sure. Yeah. And one of my favorite parts about it, because once you is set it and forget it, right? The letting go process. So it's like really, really concentrating really hard and focusing on something very importantly, and then letting it go. Right? It's like building up that energy, even though we're no longer standing up doing the practice. You can just switch it on with your mind, and you can still feel the process, and you can still see the process is still shifting and moving and growing, and you can still feel all that taking place, because we set it and then we just forget it. But it continues. It don't just turn off when we forget it, especially when we set the intention for it to continue to stay on, and as we build it, because it's all in the intention and what we set. And so that's a very big part, is when manifesting something and bringing something forward. Sometimes we get so stressed and try so hard that we block it. It's like we try so hard to get the thing to, and we're stressed about it, and we're putting all that energy into it, right? Aside from coming from it from a playful aspect, creating a game out of it, and building up from the heart space, putting it out there. And there's a bunch of other things we can do. I did a whole session on luck, fate. Put that into the body, embody that, shoot that out, and stay here. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. I set the intention. I put the energy in motion and flow. I allow the consciousness to grow and bring back to me by keeping my E pure, and forget about it. I'm not stressing about it. I'm thinking about it. I'm not trying hard to do it. Set it and forget it, and letting go, letting those wings spread and loosening up, loosening up. And so, yeah, that's my favorite part about it, because it's like, wow, I can just relax and become stronger. Okay, all right, TEHUTI. So, TEHUTI, great brother, for that. And I know that yeah, I know what you do with the tools, and how internal you are, which is super powerful. Because for me, that's how I am. And now it's because when you're very internal, and you're able to take time to sit within you and do meditations inside of the body, and take these methods and build this up, and take yourself within your body and place your consciousness within an organ, right? And then you connect the emotion that's attached to that organ, and you just cultivate and you build, and you take time to just take time, the same way that we can do internally with our organs. We can bring it out here, so we can see the energetic, the ka, of the same way that we can go internal. And then we can begin to build the ka of the thing we want first, because that's exists in the ka first. So if I want that thing, here's the ka. And taking time to build it, use the hands because our neurology, our subconscious mind, does not care whether or not you're physically have something in front of you or it's imagined. That's why the thing that they call psychosis, where their imagination, the hallucinations are so real that they're real. The neurology don't care. It's real, And so when we understand that on a much more controlled level of the ka, I'm in the ka of the thing before it physically comes forward, and build on that every single day. And as we begin to work with these these drills and expand our awareness and become more comfortable with these other states, our ability to be able to sit and bring forward the thought first and take our hands and build it and cultivate it. I'm building it, like the more powerful it is, and then the more fun we have with it, the more powerful it is. So now I can have fun while I'm doing it. Yay. You know, because I mean, we know how serious Ma'at is, right? And we know how you know, that's why I love Ma'at, because it's just like the perfect balance. You know, it's, you got the warriors who are standing there willing to do whatever to protect, while, you know, standing with TEHUTI, and right with TEHUTI is Heka, the child. So just understanding the duality of when to be serious and when to have fun, you know, when to ritualize something that assists you in a process, and when it's no longer benefiting you. Like, we have to know when to grab on and when to let go, you know, because if it's no longer useful, what's the point, you know? And then if you beat yourself up about not sticking to the thing here, then it's double compounded. Now you feel bad for not sticking to the thing. But when we just reframe and reshift and say, okay, now I just need something different to take me to whatever the next level is. It's a transformation, right? It's not a failure. I'm not quitting anything. I'm continuing through the process, but I'm just finding what's useful, what works. And if it works, I'm gonna use it. If it no longer works, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna shift it. And have fun while doing it. And so we're and as we build and as we continue to do what we do in Pekka Mku, because that's where it really comes in, you know, with these tools. And then it's time to whenever you're ready, because whenever you're, just like as we know, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? Whenever you are ready to utilize the tools for yourself, right, to be able to go within and start to look at some of those things that we avoid. When you've installed playfulness into you, you can that is the savor when you're looking at these things, because now you can kind of laugh at something because you've opened up the doorway, because when you do not approach super serious healing conversations with people in a serious way. Like, it's you have to do it through being open and playful and light. You know, that's how we open up the doorway to really go to these darker, deeper spots. And and it creates a safety for people to, like, it's okay, you're safe to do it, because we're not so tight and stressed. It's okay. We're because when you have fun, you're safe. So it's a very deep thing. And yeah, Tuan Hindu to you, great brother, for all that you do, and for your great support here at the House of ATEN, and through your Pekka Mku process and leading by example and showing everyone, you know, your process. So Duan Hindu to you, great brother, and Tua to everyone in the chat who appreciates these sessions, and for those who support it. So yeah, I'm gonna go through the Gmail and gather the supports, and hopefully Atef will come back. But were you able to do the drills with me?
No, I like to watch you do it first, and then
Okay.
when I get into my alone time, when it's time to like before the upesh, or you know what I mean, I like to sit and then reflect on everything that you said, and then I have that calmness. That there's children running around here all the time. So to have that focus, and I like to internalize it before I can even look at them and try to teach them. I love to try to not really master, but completely understand it, and have some form of a routine, so I can explain it to my out. So I like to watch first, and then internalize it, and then go into that state of mind, so I can pass it down to the out. So yeah, I was just watching. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Tua.
That's my state of mind.
Yeah, Tua. I'm going to be setting up sessions to really go in and teach this on different levels and layers, and for everyone to also do the drills with me, because there's a great powerful effect, because we're right here live, and so you get the benefit of being directly connected through the energetic conscious field that's happening right now. And so it's very, when we do it together, as one who, anytime you're doing something or you're leading something, the ones who are following along with you can only go as far and as deep as you. So when you're in the presence of a cultivated form of that, it allows you the doorway to go deeper and further than you've ever gone before. And so, and I always subconsciously knew that's why I always put myself around people who I felt could teach me things on a much deeper level, right? I always put myself physically beside them, because I understand that I will receive the energetic transference, the coherence, physically, there. So yeah, I'm setting up these sessions for those who want to take this further and see how go with us, see how far we go, and see what we build, and as we just do it in real time, and teach everyone just the method, at least the foundation of it, because this is a system that's being built, a complete system that is being downloaded for us. So I'll put the link in the chat, Nefertatan, if you want to hit that link. There it is. So yeah, Tua, and yeah, this is just the beginning, and yeah, just do these every day, every single day, and do them. And you don't have to do them in a quiet space either. But it's good to, when you first do it, to do it like that, so you can take the process real slow. So in those moments when you need to, and it's loud, and I need to, all right, I'm in there. I don't have to think about it too much, because all that time and slow pace and absorption that I put in, I can just turn it on at will. And I also like to do it when Seshep was here last week, and she was walking around, and I'm doing my stuff, and she was like, I'm sorry, I didn't want to bother you. I'm like, you're not bothering me, because as I'm doing my visualization, my Ka building, you're a part of what I'm manifesting. So you're already there running around anyways. So you're not, you're already there in my, when I'm by myself, and I'm in my space of where I want to be, the Aut's there. So I'm not by myself. So I told her, do what you do. Nothing's different. So and that's that's kind of a different form of meditation, right? But it's a very powerful one, because especially if physically part of what you're manifesting is actually physically there, and it just like compounds, because it's like I brought that forward, and now it started with thought, now it's physically here, and now I'm continuing to build on the thought, and part of it's here. So I put the link.
Yeah, when I try something new, silence helps my imagination. And then that's why I love anything, like I said, I do that's being introduced to me. I like to hear, and I like to visualize my imagination. I like to expand that and build on top of that. And that's why I love that. That's why I love that's why I love silence a lot. And then I can absorb that. And then and once I feel confident enough to reach, like you say, my environment is still, it can be noisy, but the noise is the out. Then that takes me to that next level to be able to, like you said, include and not be distracted mentally from really what's going on around me. It's more so taking those voices and those joyful energy that's running around, and utilize that in what I'm doing, what I'm visualizing. And so that's why silence is always good for me from the beginning, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, Tua, you have a great benefit of a very tiny, powerful magnetic being named Offset in the house, and you can probably bring forth anything tomorrow if you tap into the right thing. So Tua, Hinu to you for your Aut, and Hinu to the great Gabby for all the work that she's doing as well. So yes, we know. Yeah, the silence is as great Amina Mope teaches as a Gur Ma'ah, is a very powerful tool. So, here's a cat. Hotep.
I feel like I haven't seen that face in forever. Hotep.
Hotep, Neferet, Neferatanet. Are you there? Mic check.
She put up the one finger, like just one second really quick before she went off camera.
Oh, okay. All right. Tua for all of the support, and I will show that. And for those watching on the playback, the support links are pinned to the top. They're also in the bio as well. So there's the Cash App, the House of ATEN, and here's the PayPal at House of ATEN. So Uncle Justin Ebb, everyone make sure to get your Pathways to Awakening tickets. Go ahead and get them now before they go up. All right, Hotep Marie.
Mic check. Hotep Marie. Can I be heard?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. Always grateful for the House of ATEN just to give us the opportunity to be consistent. And something that's really beautiful is with each of the brothers, just seeing the evolution of not only their teaching, but their actual their actual character and disposition. So it was really beautiful during this class to hear so much outside noise about the secret and manifestation, when really the secret is just us. If we could just truly pay attention to us, and especially Marie PTAH, there's this battle that we have because we have these two physical eyes where the matrix trains us to externalize everything. I gotta reach out and get this thing. We're always going out of ourselves to go do something. So classes like this really put the REs inside of the body, not outside of the body, to really begin that work. And just that shift that, as you were saying, everything starts from the top. And we have to be able to source from that. Then we become our own source. Then we don't need to reach. And then scarcity and just all these things really dissolve and melt away. So I'll just come forward to the panel and just leave that and just give my dua for just being able to receive it live and just witness evolution in real time.
Hotep, yes, Tua very much for your medu and observation. Yes, very nefer Tua. The internal washing that I'm teaching everyone, and the focus and attention on the organs is a start for very powerful connections and taking our senses and becoming aware through the watch it organ by organ, and by doing so internally first in Pekka Mku and cleansing the things in you, then we can apply that same practice and method outside of us in a clean, pure, aware, magnetized state. So yeah, we start internal and Pekka Mku, get all that stuff out, and yeah, become Shu. So Tua for your medu and observation and being able to be a part of this session live. So were you able to do any of the drills with me as I was doing them?
Yes, a lot of new foundations being set. Yeah, I was able to do them live.
How'd you feel before compared to after?
I kind of KO'd, kind of went somewhere else. Just after, I ended up having to lay on the ground for a bit, and that was really great. I can't really say where I went, but you know.
So it literally pulled you to the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. That's what I want. That's what I want to happen. So wonderful. Tua for sharing that. Look, people going crazy. Organs organized organically. No organ donors. We don't.
No.
Oh man. But yes, Tua, and hopefully Atef can come back. But let's show the support.
He sent a message and said that his internet is like really lag.
Okay. Hotep to Maharu. Peace, great brother. Uncle Justin Nep to you. Hotep Marie. Angela Gates says, Offset agrees. Yeah, we heard her singing in the back. Going crazy. You're getting all the tones. I'm telling you, this. It's gonna be a super magic, baby. So yeah, let me share the screen. All right, here we are, and this was the support from after last week's class from Robert Williams for the Jet Conversation, the Foot of Nutpu with 3 flames. Did one of y'all know what that means? The Jed, you understand what that says?
No, I don't know what put means.
Okay. Well, Robert Williams, if you can translate that for us. So Tua for this, and the three flames, and supporting the great Dejed and his creation with Nupu. So Tua. And here's Amun and Amunet, who also supported for last week's class. Tua or Sinu, Dejed and Nupu for your interview. Kahens. Uncle Jasaneb to Amun and Amunet. Tua for supporting. All right, next from the great brother Fix, who sends in 666. Dua HOA. Dua Hotep Henu. To you, great brother Hush Nation. Uncle Jasaneb. Tua for your great support, great brother Hotep. Oh, and here is Amun and Amunet supporting for this session here. Tua or Simpata for your dedication and consistency. Nini Ka, Uncle Jasaneb. All right, and next we have Jay Kirkland, who sends in Nefer Ebe Session 772. Tua for your Medu, great brother. Hotep Marie, Tua very much. All right, next we have Nukpu, who sends in 333 for Sakim, Sin, Nefer, Netter, Jejed, Dua, Uncle Jasaneb, Ma'at, with the Ebe star and wing, 333. And I think he sent these in 3. I might not have put it on here. Well, let's do this. Let's go over here. Let's put it right there. Hotep, Seshep, Inner, Nu, Nefer, Have Fun, Ma'at, 333. Tua to the great Nukpu, great brother. And one more. Hotep, Sakim, Sin, Nefer, Netter, Ani, Uncle Jasaneb, Mary Ma'at, with a blue Ebe and stars, 333. So dua to Nukpu for your 999, and for the great support and all the great Medu, great brother Uncle Jasaneb. All right, next we have Basa Tut Maka Aksa Fek, who sends in 2072 for Dua Patah for bringing forth the practices, Hinu or Sin. Nini Ka, great brother, Uncle Jasaneb. Tua for your support, for your Medu, your consistency, or Sin, Hotep. All right, and next we have Robert Williams, who sends in 2272 for support for 5 Alive, healing, 3 flames, and a salute. Hotep Henu, Robert Williams, Uncle Jasaneb, to you. Tua for your great support, great brother, and consistency. So here is the support for today's session, 8/31/2025, which is the 1-year anniversary for the Scribal Sessions today. So that's phenomenal. So Duan Hinu to all of the great Meru, right? The Mer, the Meri, the desire, which is directly connected to the supporters. So Tua to those who allow themselves the ability to be able to receive that which what you want by supporting as a Meru.
And yes, the Hekau really works.
Dua for all of the great support, and we appreciate all of you. So may you all continue to be great representations of Ma'at.
And great leaders of example of the ones who come forth as conscious light. Tua very much. Ankh Uja Seneb.
You watching me?
but you don't want to admit you're watching me. This is great. I know exactly who you are.
How do you get a BC, but we was created by the Lord?
Hotep to the great Meru of the House of Aten. Tua very much. Tua for supporting this session and for those who will support afterwards. So wonderful. All right. So Atef may not make it back, so that's okay. And I'll hear from him and his thoughts later. So to everyone for being a part of this session. And for those of you who did the drills with me, and for those who will go back and do them later, and learn them and practice and utilize them every single day, every day. And because you do it every day, it will create a reward system for you and allow your awareness to continue to open up bit by bit. So Tua very much for your attention, and yeah, we'll go around and allow Nefertatan and the Jet to give some closing words. So we'll start with you, Nefertatan Hotep.
Hotep, Tua for allowing me to close. I just had a thought when someone asks you, where do you live? Especially in the US, right? Where do you live? You might say your neighborhood, you might say your street. Eventually you'll get to a point where you say what state you live in. And a state is not the name of a town. The first state and the primary state is the state that we carry inside of ourselves, because we reside in ourselves, right? No matter where you go on Smali Tawi, no matter where you go on Earth, you always have a state. We always have a state within our body. So it's just a beautiful opener to continue to really use that and really feel at home. There's so much disassociation. There's a lot of things that can separate us from us. So just do it for this class and this healing, this learning, and giving us drills. So the only drill that we know more than fire drills, we have to drill up the ka to eventually get us to the fa. So Hotep Makaru, do it to all the Paut and the Natiru that allow creation to continue to exist so that we may continue to persist. Hotep Marie, that is it.
Hotep, peace. Peace and love once again to you, great brother PTAH. Definitely a Nefer presentation that expands the coup and giving us something actually to run those drills to actually work on and spend time in what you presented. So dua to you, great brother. Dua to you, great Nefertatan. It's always great to see that face of yours, and it's a very Nefer thing. So Tua to you, great sister, for being on here and being that representation as the Hermet of the great PTAH. Dua to you, great sister. Shouts out to the great brother Tef. Dua to you, great brother. Be safe out there. Dua to everybody in the chat, everybody who supported. Dua to you all. Definitely grateful for all the energy that you put forth to the House of Aten. Hotep Hindu to our great Saba TEHUTI Amun Hotep Ra, him and his, the Turks. Dua to you, great Saba. Uncle Jackson Neb. Yeah, just Tua PTAH once again for this class. Definitely gives a mission and something to see, to be able to see what you're teaching and to witness the benefit from this presentation. So once again, dua to you, great brother. May Ra grant you all family, health, and prosperity. May your monument be established on the foundations of Ma'at. And may you all rise and come forth as conscious light like the divine Ra, who rise and shine forevermore in Ma'at. I am the Jen Sajem Ma'at Hem Pauku, favorite Bada Natiru, Uncle Jasanet, Hotep Henu, Nefu Pesh.
Hotep Marie, to everyone for your attention, and to for your participation, your support. I'm very thankful and grateful for all of you who support this and support me in the House of ATEN. This is the very beginning of some very powerful things that I'm putting together, and I look forward to continuing to build with everyone and grow and expand in consciousness and awareness and build the physical reality that we want to live in. There are no limitations for us to do that other than the ones that we create within ourselves, or the ones that was created within ourselves, and the ones that we're not responsible for, but the ones that we are responsible for to go back in and create and correct and heal from, so that we have more power at our hands. So to offer everyone walking the pathway, and I look forward to the continuation and to hear from what these practices do for everyone. And because we need everybody, all hands on deck. So I'm not shorting none of it. Like let's use it so we can build and break out of this matrix as a collective. And it all starts with our ability to control our state and to go within our ebb and understand our emotions, and how to install what we want and remove what we don't want, make greater what we want, and being able to embody a state at will at all times and be in full control of that, and just compound it with different levels of awareness that the Medu allows us infinite growth and openness in. And and I'm just a baby. So, we can, this is a beautiful thing. So to everyone, and I look forward to bringing all of this to everyone. So, and just to the great Pa'ut, the ancestors, for leading and assisting in all the ways that they do, and for their protection and guidance, through these processes and through life, of being less aware than before. That so much, I don't know about you all, but I'm extremely lucky to be here and to be aware and conscious, and that's and that luck, which is Shay, is an embodiment. So that's the only thing that can ever come forward, because that's what I project from my Ebe. So I'm very thankful and grateful for the Pa'ut, for the protection leading up to this point, and the continued even greater level of protection as I move forward, producing a very safe and sound, calm frequency for myself and for others, that the Pa'ut assist and help to provide, because they stand with us. So dua to the great Pa'ut, dua to the Netiru, all of the conscious light that is always with us, and working through us. And the more we pekem the more of a vessel for the ancestors we can become and be an embodiment of that conscious light, as all the great scribes taught. So houseofaten.org. Everyone go support there. Get your Pathways tickets. Get your preparations in order. Take what I put in these sessions and, let's go to some of the sources, sign up for some of those classes. In the meantime, while I'm building my standard version, but go use them. Use these tools to put ourselves in better position. So if for some reason you say you can't make it to the Pathways, you got all the tools right here between the last session and this one to come and a whole bunch of other things. Time don't matter, okay? It don't matter when you're dealing with this level of Heka. So always keep that in mind as well. So Tu'a very much. Houseofaten.org. Support links, continue to support. And Hinu to the Great Saba for all the works that he's doing and for his continuation and bringing forward the pod class and just being a great voice for the ancestors and speaking from what the scribes taught directly and showing the sources for us to go in and look for ourselves and do the digging, do the necessary evaluation, the necessary reckoning and EAP, the calculation for ourselves to use the things that are beneficial to us to grow, to expand. So Tu'a Saba for being the primary initial doorway for us to take what we're doing further. And with that, I'll conclude with the Medu Necher. Oh, and Hinu to Atefram Kim Ma'at Hinu, great brother. Safe travels to you and your A'ut. And I look forward to hearing from you as well. So, Sekim M. Arit, Murder Ka'a, Simu Hatu Natiru, Pert Ento Tep. I obtain the power to do what pleases my Ka. May the hearts of the Natiru lead me. I come forth in peace. Otep Hinu. And I'll put the affirmation up. And Saket, would you like to say the affirmation?
Yes, I can. On the count of 3, Ua Sen Kemet, Ankiem Ma'at, Un and S, Nintet Aset and Ma'at, Min Hepapet and Ma'at, Her and Hukui, Her E Kuts. I live for Ma'at. I exist within her. I do not speak in the place of Ma'at. Every day I advance towards Ma'at. My being is surrounded in darkness. I come forth as conscious lights.
And yes, the Hekau really works.
Yeah, we're here, and we're the best.
Yo, let's go.
Shed. Closed my eyes, then I woke up back in my my bed. I could see my room as clear as looking through a lens. See, I thought I was awake, so then I tried to move, but my body shocked me like I was plugged in a socket. I started panicking and scrambling within my mental. I thought I died and now my body, I'm forever locked in. I was screaming, help me, someone help me please. But there wasn't any sound making it through my teeth. I could see movement in motion, shadows gather around me. How could I close my eyes already closed. Eating alkaline at this time, fasting rezo shocking. I was stuck in a paralysis, fear had me froze. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. I finally started waking up and coming back. I was in the opposite of states effect. That's relaxed, I grabbed my phone and started to do research. Knowledge of what happened, I was in a lack. Insidious, the movie came direct to mind. Every time I've seen this, it was connected to what's not divine. Demons crawling forcefully, holding the body down. Ain't no point in trying to scream, you will not make a sound. Deep within, I knew I made that a reality. The all is mine, I saw it, and so shall it be. I start replacing fear with knowing universe is mental. Talking to my subconscious to wake me up in dreams. Then one day my spirit guides came in so essential. Daylight's astral playing loud in my dream helped to set me free. I'm back in paralysis laying on my couch. But this time I was calm, ready to exit out. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. From what I read, I need to move my arms in front of me. See a rope and pull it, separate and then release. Now I'm out, I see my house is gleaming, I accept it. Looking in the mirror, staring at my car's reflection. I was so ecstatic, flying in every direction. This was months of subconscious reprogramming and redirection. Place my thoughts in my body, wake up, that's what I did. I was reborn from that day so I could start to live. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed.